AI is coming for your business, and this is how you survive. Business automation with AI is exploding right now. We're seeing companies that generate even 50K a month save 30 to 50% on operational costs through strategic AI implementation. And this opportunity is just getting started. But what separates companies that profit from AI from those that are spending and wasting tens, if not even hundreds of thousands of dollars on useless tools? Everyone tells you to adopt AI everywhere and automate everything, but no one tells you fundamentally how to actually budget and implement the AI profitably so that you get your ROI faster and you know you're not wasting time and money. The practical frameworks that I'm going to share with you, the checklists, the things that you can do that have no hype, just consistent, stable, systematic results are going to be based on a lean AI R&D line item that we put into our financial systems. If you haven't seen the financial systems video yet, I strongly recommend you watch it before watching this, but I'm going to give you the playbook that you can start implementing this quarter to start making profitable AI investing decisions. And I'm going to reveal the exact system that we use to thrive in the AI economy. My name is David. I'm a fractional CFO and business operations consultant. I've helped companies generating even 50K a month implement profitable AI systems without wasting money on tools that don't work. So if you want to use AI to build a business profitably and more efficiently, watch until the end. When we think about AI, most people get nervous. They get scared. They don't understand where they can start doing it. They want to do it, but they don't know how much they should budget for it. They don't know who to go for. Agencies are always expensive. So when you make that kind of decision, you have to make the right decision with the right agency. There's a ton of people saying a ton of things on the market, and there's always the next thing that comes out every other month. So you're stuck saying, okay, am I going to really make an investing decision on my business right now? Or am I going to wait 2 or 3 more months for the next thing to come out and then go ahead? Oh, maybe I don't really want to spend that much on my business this month. I don't know where cash flow is going to be. You see yourself kind of cocooning into this scarcity mindset because it's too much too fast. You don't have the budget for it. You're not thinking about it. You're thinking about making sales, right? But what if I told you that the way you can think about AI to improve your business, both on a revenue side and on a cost saving side, will depend on this system. And it all starts from what your net operating income looks like. And that's based on your financial system from the start, from the get-go, but it all stems from your NOI and your balance sheet. If you have nothing on your balance sheet, if you have $0 in the bank account, you have a bigger problem than putting in fancy AI tools. You need money in. I'm talking about the business owner that has maybe 250K in the bank account, maybe you have 500K in the bank account, and you're ready to start making operational improvements. You're starting to automate your marketing. You want to make things more effective, faster, compound better. This all depends on having a good balance sheet from the start. If you don't have a good balance sheet, none of this is going to work. None of this is going to even matter to you. So you should just drop off this video, go watch the financial systems video, and come back in a few months once you've made that money, and then start thinking about, okay, now how do I actually refine my business? What do I need to take away? What do I need to add? What do I need to reduce? What can I do completely new and different? You're not there yet if you're not at least balance sheet level, right? So NOI, that is like your net operating profit that comes right before taxes is what I'm saying. And by the way, NOI isn't the best measurement of this, but it's the simplest way I can communicate this without going in depth. So NOI, we have 2 major buckets because whenever you make a spending decision, typically without the right budgeting process, you're going to look at your net income and you're going to say, okay, I have this much money left over this month. What am I investing in next month? While that's not the right way to think about it, it's the simplest way so that you can understand how to implement this very quickly into your business. NOI. There are 2 major buckets, part of capital expenditures, and we call this CapEx for short. There's maintenance CapEx and there's growth CapEx. So in your maintenance CapEx budget, you need to think about the seasonality of your business. You need to think about those one-time expenses that come up, but you don't know exactly when they come up, and they only come up once a year, maybe 2 or 3 times a year, but they're very rare and they're not core to your business. They're not core to what makes your business run like a well-oiled machine that we described in the financial systems video. So when you think about your maintenance CapEx, that might be, oh, I need a new machine, right? My machine broke down or something broke and now I need to get like repairs for it or whatever it may be. But your maintenance CapEx is literally that. It's what one-time fixed costs come up that I just need to spend money on to fix my thing. It's not anything for growth. It's just maintaining what you have. In a restaurant, it might be, oh, this table broke or there was a fire, whatever it is. Like there's just something that you have to spend money on to maintain the business to keep the status quo. That's maintenance CapEx. Then you have growth CapEx. And in growth CapEx, it's about, all right, we have excess this month, this quarter, this year. How are we going to budget it to grow the business? Are we going to do a new marketing channel? Are we going to invest in a new product? Are we going to hire? All of these decisions are based on growth CapEx. Like, what are we going to start taking risks on so that we can see where the ROI is and where can we go all in on later on? When can we take this one-time investment and turn it into a recurring thing that's core to our business because it's proven itself to make money? This is why it's so important for you to get your fundamentals done and have a financial system in the first place, because then when we start making spending decisions on AI, we can ask ourselves, is this going to improve my maintenance CapEx or is this going to improve my growth CapEx? From the get-go, what have we established? We've established the fact that AI is coming into the business. It's going to happen. You can't avoid it. You're probably going to need an expert. But now we know that we can distinguish our investments in AI based on these two buckets. And if you go back to the financial systems video, what you're going to see is we break things down into line items that are actually core to your business, right? So you might have a marketing line item, and then we have direct and labor costs there. You might have a customer service line item. You might have a fulfillment team line item. And now what we can ask ourselves is fulfillment more maintenance or is it growth? Well, it could be both. It could be hiring, or it could be, oh, somebody left. We need to dump a bunch of money into, job applications or hiring recruiters so that we can maintain a top level executive or person in our company, right? So it can be both buckets, right? But once we know whether we're investing in AI for maintenance versus growth, we can say, okay, how do we want to track it? What KPIs do we want to put into the business? But fundamentally, what we need to think about is what parts of our departments or our cost centers or revenue centers are maintenance and what parts of it can we think about for growth. The moment you think that way, AI becomes a hell of a lot easier, because at the beginning of the year or quarter or month, depending on where you're at in your business, what you can say, and let's say this is you right here, and this is time, and this is time at 0. And over here, this is time 365 days later, or maybe 90 days later, or maybe 30 days later, whatever the promise is. We can say, all right, we have 250 to 500K in our cash bank account. What I'm going to do is I'm going to allocate from the NOI. Let's say we net 20K that month. So we made 10% on our money of what we had return on capital. We made 20K in profit that month. Maybe I'll allocate 10% of that, 50% of that, whatever it is. You don't have to start big. Let's just say 5% of our growth budget or maintenance budget, we're going to allocate to R&D, which will include AI. So some companies, like especially the publicly traded ones, have an R&D line item where they're saying, hey, I don't care if this project fails. I just want to invest into something that might work. I'm willing to take the risk. Those companies are always on the cutting edge because they're investing, they're experimenting, they're willing to take the loss. These are incredibly common in biotech companies, and any innovative business is going to have an R&D line item. If they don't, they're not going to be in business very long because their whole business is innovation. OpenAI is the same way. So when we think about budgeting, we say, okay, let's say I put 25K to an R&D budget, an AI budget. Most people, the moment they get money into a department, they want to spend it immediately. But you actually have time on your side when you're doing any type of innovative, speculative investment. You have time on your side. And depending on your business, you're going to have to ask yourself, am I having a marketing problem more, or is my fulfillment team more expensive for me? Which one is it? And as you go through time, as time works for you and not against you, you're going to see new developments. So maybe there's some news, maybe there's new tech, maybe somebody, I don't know, gets fired and it prompts you to want to invest in AI to replace that old employee or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, the fact that you just have this budget sitting there gives you the confidence to say, hey, I have time on my side. I don't need to spend this money all at once. Maybe you'll say, okay, for the year, if I have 25K and somebody comes to me and says, hey, I really want to help your business. I need some budget to do it though. How much is going to cost? 5K, easily you can check it off because you've already budgeted out there. It's not going to affect the core plan because this is part of the core plan. It's an ancillary portion of the core plan. It's not going to affect the actual growth of the company. Why? Because you already have a war chest. You have the ability to budget for something experimental. The problem is, and this is a psychological thing that we work with our clients and founders on, is overcoming the fact that there's nothing to do. There's always something to do. And strategy is figuring out what you're going to do with those resources and how you're going to do it stable, right? How are we going to do this in a way where we're not risking the business, where we're not losing sleep every night, where we're not having to take on crazy debts? That's the name of the game. That's how you run your company. That's how you make things actually move predictably, sustainably, like a well-oiled machine. We've discussed maintenance CapEx versus growth CapEx. And a lot of this, by the way, depends on your free cash flow, not even your NOI, but for simplicity's sake, we're going to say NOI. We've discussed targeting the cost and profit centers of your business, looking at your margins, thinking, okay, how do I see a 30% improvement in this department, in this spending? That's how you use AI. And most of the time with AI right now, it's so cheap that it's really just getting somebody to take ownership over that department to implement the strategies and techniques. And ironically, you're going to have a labor cost to implement an AI profit center, right? Like OpenAI hired $150 an hour investment bankers to help them with their financial models because the machines aren't good enough for it. Because financial modeling is super hard. It's not an easy thing to do. But if you want us to actually come into your business and help you create a budget or model out the ROI of your AI department and how you're actually going to implement this effectively, book a call in the description below. I guarantee you will not regret it. You're going to see a lot more clarity in your business and the next moves that you have to take.